Our spirit is restored. Inflation is plummeting. Incomes are rising fast. The roaring economy is roaring like never before. Now we are the hottest country anywhere in the world, the hottest. In 12 months, my administration has driven core inflation down to the lowest level in more than 5 years. And in the last 3 months of 2025, it was down to 1.7%.
Which, by the way, happens to be a true number, that 1.7%. Anyway, joining us now, Steve Moore, host of More Money on WABC Radio. Doesn't do him justice, but there you have it. And Liz Peek, Fox News contributor. There she is. Great article, Liz Peek. You know, the simple question is, did he make the sale for the midterms, Liz? But the bigger issue, in a sense, I kind of thought much of this, particularly the economic stuff, but really the whole speech, which was a very good speech, perhaps his best speech ever, he was giving the GOP their talking points for the midterm elections, that he's saying, here's the way we're going to do this on the economy, on immigration, on patriotism, on law and order, and so forth and so on. He was really, and if that's what he wants the party to carry, his America First messages. Don't wimp out. Don't walk away from what he's done. I was talking to Senator Ted Cruz earlier in the show, who agreed with me. You know, this is not your grandfather's Republican Party. This is Mr. Trump's Republican Party, and he was saying, here are the good talking points, and here's how we can defy history and win the midterms. What do you think?
I think you're absolutely right, and I thought Ted Cruz kind of looked very thoughtful there, like, yeah, maybe those should be my talking points, for example, going forward. Look, Larry, I think what we've seen, particularly as it relates to the big, beautiful bill, I think Republicans have been horrifyingly scared to death of the big, beautiful bill. They almost never talk it up. They never go out and say to everybody, hey, we're lowering taxes. And by the way, Kamala Harris ran on raising taxes by an enormous amount. Who has a campaign founded on higher tax revenues? It was the craziest thing ever. But I don't think Americans have really clued into that or all the benefits that they're going to see coming forward from the big, beautiful bill. So kudos to President Trump. I thought it was an awesome speech, not only on sort of social issues or whatever. He really didn't get into all of that very much. It was really just common sense, pragmatic Republican leadership. And I think everybody who's running for office should be very happy to have had that template.
Yeah, I agree. So, Steve Moore, did he make the sale? I know it's early. It's only February, late February. But, I mean, I think there was a CNN poll that showed his numbers turning up quite a bit. I don't want to hang a hat on any one poll, CNN poll, whatever. There's a million polls out there. But I think when you look at the numbers that Kevin Hassett puts out, some of which were in the speech on Tuesday night, the tide has turned, okay? Real incomes, real weekly wages have gone up. You know, John Carney has done some research on all these grocery and household essential prices that have come down, including eggs and gasoline and things of that sort. I mean, I think in some sense, Steve, the tide is turning, and Mr. Trump is putting some torque behind that. What you make of it?
Yeah, I think that perception on the economy is catching up with the reality, which is that you mentioned the numbers that our friend Kevin Hassett has put out. We just put out some numbers looking at median after inflation and, Larry, after tax income, you know, because the tax cut put a lot of money. So that number for the median income families in 13 months is up almost $4,000. So that's a pretty darn good number with respect to how things are going. And people, you know, you look at almost every statistic on the economy right now, they're looking pretty darn good. How about the fact we're under a 6% mortgage as of today? That's a pretty good number as well. I want to just add one other thing that you said earlier on the show, which is that this isn't your, you know, daddy's Republican Party. I would say this isn't your daddy's Democratic Party. I mean, the Democratic Party has gone so far to the left with the you know, poster children being AOC and Mandami and so many of these Democratic governors like Gavin Newsom that keep ruining their states. And that has to be a theme, too. Do you really want America to look like these blue states? One other quick thing, Larry. patriotism. I want to just emphasize that issue. You've got a patriotism divide in the two parties today. Republicans are red, white, and blue. I don't know where the Democrats are, but when they wouldn't, many of them wouldn't even stand for the Olympic gold medal team. That's pretty bad.
I mean, Liz, these Democrats were shouting F-bombs, and they had little F-bomb stickers on, and they couldn't stand up for some of the veterans, that had been in the line of fire. That's pretty pathetic. That wasn't always the Democrats. They had hawks in the Democratic Party going way back, but that's all gone now. They just sort of vote en masse saying the same thing. And they're not traditional American values. I mean, one thing Mr. Trump has done is he has taken the common sense principles and he's put them back into the GOP. The Democrats have forfeited that. I think, Liz, that's going to really hurt. As long as the Republicans keep it up, it's going to really hurt in the midterms. I'm telling you, it's got to hurt.
I agree, Larry. And again, we come back often to the idea that Trump has grabbed all the 80-20 issues, and he's on the right side of them. Voter ID, you were talking about that earlier. I can't for the life of me understand why Republicans don't just put a single item bill on the floor. Just voter ID. Forget about registration. Forget about everything else. This is something Americans across the spectrum agree with. Let's get it done. And make Democrats vote on voter ID, because what can be their objection? I don't know. They keep saying there's no fraud. If there's no fraud, that's fine. But then why in the world are we even arguing about it? So yes, President Trump has grabbed all these common sense, practical issues that the American people agree upon. So I think that is really the theme going forward.
Well, as I keep saying this night after night, Democrats in the House, in order to vote against the voter ID, have to have a voter ID card in order to vote. All right? But I keep saying that. No, you two may be the only ones that heard me say. Anyway, I keep saying it. Steve Moore, it was a very growthy speech, though. Growth is so important. Growth's going to be crucial in this. Yes, it looks like a pretty good turnaround. And as the committee to unleash had, if you grow back to the norm for hundreds of years, 3.5% a year after inflation, you'd actually end the budget debt problem in 2 or 3 decades. But it's a very growthy, upbeat, optimistic speech. It's like, we can do this, Steve. And I like that. I mean, it's like people have been beaten down by these bad Biden numbers where prices are much higher than wages. Now that's changing, and what Trump is saying is, I am optimistic we're going to continue this change, and it's going to get better and better. Don't you think that optimism matters?
It does. It reminds me of sort of JFK, Reagan optimism.
Yes.
You wrote the book on this, but JFK always said about that, we're going to grow our way out of our fiscal problems. Reagan said it, and now Trump is saying it, and it's a fantastic thing. I like his message, by the way, of using, if we're going to have tariffs, we'll use that money to lower people's income taxes. That would be very pro-growth, and people would love that. The guy is hitting on all cylinders right now, and I think the Democrats don't quite know what to do with this president.
They don't know what hit him. I mean, Lizzie was in a good mood. He shook John Roberts' hand, for heaven's sakes. You know what I mean? I mean, he didn't make a big deal about it. John Roberts, personally, by the way, as an individual, is a very nice person, as I'm sure you know if you've ever met him. And he didn't really spend that much time on the whole issue, which was very cool. I don't know. Ronald Reagan was right. Jack Kemp was right. John F. Kennedy was right. A rising tide lifts all boats. That's kind of like the subheading for this State of the Union. Liz Peek, thank you. Steve Moore, thank you.